Hey everyone, it's Ethan here from Couch Vegetarian, and I'm really excited today because I'm going to be making vegan roast pumpkin soup.
Okay, so to make this, we're going to need one pumpkin, four shallots, five garlic cloves, 1 liter of vegetable stock, one 400 ml can of coconut cream, one punnet of sage, 6 tablespoons of olive oil, 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and pine nuts and paprika to garnish. To do this, cut the pumpkin in half and then halve it again to make 4 evenly sized quarter wedges. Using a small sharp knife, cut a wedge into the brain of the pumpkin and then scoop out the seeds using a tablespoon. Sometimes the spoon doesn't get everything, so I just like to use my fingers to get the last few seeds out. To skin the pumpkin, you'll want to make sure it's laying flat and then slice in an arc shape moving inward. Slice each quarter of the pumpkin into 4 strips and then cut these strips down into cube-like chunks. If your chunks look like mine and they're not too cubey, don't worry. They're all going to get pulverized anyway. This is just a way to help them roast quickly. Once you've cut the remaining quarters into chunks, add about 4 tablespoons of olive oil to a large baking tray. Mix the oil in with the pumpkin using your hands. I actually ended up needing 2 trays to fit all of my pumpkin. If this happens to you, just add more oil to another tray and then repeat. Cook the pumpkin at 200 to 220 degrees Celsius until it's soft and starts slightly charring on the edges. For me, this took about 45 minutes, but it might differ for you. Next, we'll need to cut up the shallots and garlic. Cut off the stem of the shallot, but leave the root intact. Peel the skin off. Then, slice lengthways along the stem end of the shallot, making sure not to slice the root just yet. Slice in the other direction, starting from the stem. Once your shallots are diced, discard the remaining root. To cut the garlic, break off your cloves. Cut off the stem and the root of each clove. Then crush it using the flat end of the knife. After you've done this, peel the skin off. The clove I used didn't really crush all the way, so I just crushed it a second time and then finally dice. Cut up all the remaining garlic. Now we're ready to create the base for the soup. Place a very large pot on a medium heat, then add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Wait for the oil to heat up, then add the shallots. Saute the shallots for about 5 minutes before adding in the garlic. Saute the onions and garlic together for another 5 minutes. Once the shallots of garlic have cooked through and they're soft, pour in your stock and then the coconut cream. Pull off around about 3/4 of your sage leaves and then add them to the soup. I like to leave about 1/4 spare to use as a garnish at the end. Add about half a teaspoon of cinnamon and nutmeg and then stir gently into the soup. The cinnamon, nutmeg, and coconut milk give a rich, nutty flavor that will complement the sweetness in the pumpkin perfectly. Cover the soup and leave it to simmer for a minimum of 10 minutes until your pumpkin is finished roasting. Stir occasionally. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes and the soup is smelling amazing. Time to add the pumpkin. Working in batches, add 1/4 of the pumpkin into the soup. Use an immersion blender on low setting to pulverize the pumpkin and blend it nicely into the soup. Once the pumpkin is fully mixed in and there are no chunks remaining, add in the next batch. Until all of it is fully blended. If you don't have an immersion blender, pour a portion of the pumpkin and soup into a regular blender and then blend on a low setting until the soup is thick and creamy. Leave the soup to cook on a low heat for 10 more minutes. My soup has been cooking away. Now it's time to add the maple syrup. Season with salt and pepper. The pumpkin I used was particularly sweet, so I added a lot more salt to balance out the flavor. To plate, cut open a sandwich-sized baguette. I usually serve mine with olive spread, but it's also good plain just to dip straight into the soup. Sprinkle a little bit of paprika over the top. Then add about a teaspoon of pine nuts. The crunchiness of pine nuts complements the creaminess of the soup really well. I definitely recommend getting some to bring this to the next level. Sprinkle a few leaves of the remaining sage over the soup, and there you have it. A delicious roasted vegan pumpkin soup.
Thanks everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see me cook next. Until next time, it's been Couch Vegetarian.